How's it going, everyone? And doing something a little different in terms of the usual YouTube video. I wanted to make a little face cam video and a top 10 video, something that I haven't done in a while, which is a top 10, I guess, wish list end of year type video. And this has been something I've been wanting to do. I've had this note actually on my phone for quite some time, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to put this video together and pretty much, just make it and have some fun with it. So, what I love about this time of the year is it's a great time to reflect, see what we've gotten. All the media's come out, all the new figures have come out, and we've had a great chance to see, okay, where are those gaps that are in our collection. And for me, there's been a lot of great stuff that has come out, but one of the core areas that I've really wanted some more great content has definitely been in the High Republic area and some of the newer characters from some of the media that we've seen most recently, primarily Trooper variants. So what I wanted to do for this video was provide that top 10. There will be images that will flash onto the screen that I'll do. Hopefully, work all out all right. I haven't done one of these in a while, so it'll all kind of come together, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so kicking off this list, we actually have one that I've been having on my list for quite some time, and that is the Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi in his crate final battle. I guess you can call it garments. The reason I want this figure is I personally really like this look. I think it's a cool look for Luke. I love the 3/4 inch figure that we have for this Luke. And it's kind of just the missing one for the Black Series. I think the Black Series really does have a lot of great figures, but this one is an obvious miss in the sequel area as well. Personally, I don't like how we've missed out on a lot of sequel folks. And it kind of upsets me that a lot of those figures could use repaints, the new face technology like Finn, Poe, the Leia, even Kylo Ren, and we're not getting those because of the way that the movies performed and the way that the those that have watched it reciprocate that energy. So it's a bummer because I would love to see a really cool new updated Luke Skywalker, and it's so weird because you're supposed to get one. There was all these rumors, even the artwork had leaked, and then nothing came out of it. We never saw the figure. We never had anything happen after that. So really a bummer. I would have loved to see a updated Luke Skywalker in the crate coming in at number 10. Jumping right into it, coming in at number 9 are some new ones, and it's Captain Enoch, and I put "and the Night Soldiers" because I feel like you can't have just one or the other, but I feel like you need all of those. I would love like a convention exclusive of Captain Enoch, with maybe like 2 of the troopers, and then just different variants, store exclusives or something where they kind of just start army building those. When I saw those in Ahsoka with Thrawn, I was like, I need these. These are pretty much the coolest figure. I know that the Vintage Collection is actually getting a build-up pack that they do. One of these sets of the of Captain Enoch and his troopers. And I know a few collectors are upset about that because they're like, oh, we don't want multiple Enochs. We just want one Enoch on the card, which makes sense. You'd prefer more of just the standard, night troopers. And I agree with that. I think it's strange that they're doing Enoch in that pack, but at the same time, you're getting Enoch, man. I want him. I would love, to have. I know for a fact we'll probably get him. But the night troopers, I feel like it's an easy win. So. Get on it, Hasbro. Come on, that's a layup for you guys. You love the trooper builders. You love, those easy repaints. I think that's just a great figure that everyone would love to have in their collection. So let's have that one happen. Coming in at number 8 is another trooper, and it's the TK Stormtrooper from the Bad Batch. I love this trooper. I love it so much. And I think the reason I like it so much is it's kind of like the evolution, right? I love seeing that evolution of the Stormtrooper from clone to Stormtrooper, and then you kind of see it again in another figure that I have down the list, which actually, you know what, I'm just going to throw it in now, and I'll pop it up on screen, is the Imperial Super Commando. I know that SH Figure Arts is doing theirs, but that's kind of a really cool middle of the way for the Imperial Stormtrooper and then the First Order Stormtrooper. So I really love when you see those kind of evolutions of the Stormtroopers that you had with the Sith Trooper, kind of an evolution of the First Order Stormtrooper for the Sith Eternal. And I would love to see something like that. I love the TK Troopers. They're a great army builder. They have to come in the Bad Batch line. It's essentially just a Stormtrooper with a different helmet. Like, come on. We need it. We need it. We need it in Vintage Collection. We need it in the Black Series. I would love to see the TK Stormtrooper and the Imperial Super Commandos both in the Black Series line. I would love, and you know what, I'm gonna say Vintage Collection too. I know this is a Black Series line, but I collect both. As you can see, I have some Vintage Collection off screen. All my Black Series is all over here too, so you can't see anything now. I'm gonna have a collection video soon, so we'll have that. Sorry, it's been a long day, everyone. Is Moff Gideon in the Mandalorian armor? I know we already have a basic Moff Gideon, but the Mandalorian Moff Gideon was very important to the season 3 arc. So having the Moff Gideon in that armor, I think would be a really cool just figure to have. And one, he looks cool, but two, I think it would be a really fun piece to have. And you know, the bulkiness of him, the you know, the character himself as the villain of the first really 3 seasons of The Mandalorian has been, you know, a really fun arc. I was a little surprised that they were going to bring Moff Gideon back for season 3 and he was going to be like the antagonist again, but I think they did it well, how he kind of made it all the showdown on Mandalore. For spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched The Mandalorian season 3, but I'm sure all of us, whoever's watching this video, I'm sure has at this point. But I would love to see that Moff Gideon figure or Moff Gideon costume, I guess, or that version of the character in figure form. I think it would be a really cool figure. It would definitely be something that I think the fans would enjoy too. So let's get that also in Vintage Collection. You know, why not? I think it would be a great figure to have all around. Coming in and topping off my number 5, this is when they're going to get a little fun. I want the Emperor Palpatine Sith Eternal. Okay, so I had Sith Eternal / Episode 3. I want both, but I realized after putting a list together of all the Black Series pipelined and what are coming out, we're getting Emperor Palpatine in Episode 3. So I'll be good there. I'll have that one for the Black Series, but I would like the Sith Eternal one. I have Snoke on the throne. I need Palps on the throne. And you know, why not do a throne one like you did for the Return of the Jedi one? Give him a cool throne. That stone throne that he has. Give him those red garments. Maybe even do a 2-pack convention exclusive where you have like the zombified one. I think that would be a really cool figure to have. I don't know, throw in a Ben Solo in there too. That would be a really cool convention exclusive pack. I've actually been building what I call a convention exclusive list too, but a lot of these figures are already in that, and what I want to do is for some of my honorable mentions, those would be in there. So we'll get to those in a few minutes. Coming in at number 4, we have Kelleran Beck. I want Kelleran Beck so bad. Ahmad Best deserves it. I would love to see him as a figure. I think it'd just be so cool to have that figure, especially after his role in The Mandalorian. I think it would just be a really fun figure to have. You know, showing off what he did, and then having that figure, and maybe it comes with two lightsabers, whatever you want to do. I would love to have him. He would just be a really cool figure. I would just put him with the rest of the Jedi. I wouldn't even waste his time putting him with the Mandalorian shelf. But hands down, I would love to have a Kelleran Beck. I think it would be a great figure to have on the shelf. My Best is great. And it would be cool to have him too because of the maybe even you make it from that one show, the Jedi training show that he was on. That would just be a really cool figure to have. I think we're now at the top three. At number 3 is actually kind of two tied, I guess you can say, and that's going to kind of be my number 2 as well. It is actually, and I'm going to butcher his name because when I'm reading it, I don't actually say it out loud 100 times, is Mashion Ro, and Nihil soldiers and Nile soldiers from the High Republic. I want everything High Republic. I have a whole shelf of books from the High Republic. I got the Character Encyclopedia, which is a beautiful book. If you do not have it in your collection, I highly recommend picking up the High Republic Characters Encyclopedia. Great book. But I want the bad guys. Ro is an awesome villain. He is he's a cool looking villain too. The most recent book, I'm blanking, it's on my nightstand right now, but he just looks really cool. Give him the yellow lightsaber that he stole from Lord and Great Storm, I think is his name. That would be cool. That would be a really cool figure. Give him the mask, let him take it off, and then have his long black hair, his black eyes. Like, it would just be a really cool figure to have. An Invari alien race figure, and then have some Nile soldiers. Maybe Lorna Dean or Lorna D, I think is her name, or even any of the other Tempest runners. It could be a really cool way to get those that haven't read the books or the comics, into it. I think that would just be a really, really cool collection of figures to start building out and doing a High Republic. And it's so cool because they could totally do for like the Galaxy packaging like a cool gold color for High Republic. It would just be perfect. And I have a whole list of High Republic characters, beasts. Like, they could go all out if they go all in on the High Republic, and it would be really cool. Number 2, and this one is again like a 3-pack, I would say. It's kind of 3 figures that I think would actually look really cool together, and that is going to be Avar Kriss, Stellan Gios, and Elzar Mann. Again from the High Republic. I think we need cool Jedi that aren't the same, Luke, Ahsoka type figures. It would be really cool to have these characters that you've read about. Like, that's what I loved the most about that publishing series ones that they did. Or, when they did Captain Cardinal. He was a character from a book that I had read that I loved. And then I got him in figure form, and I was like, this is cool. This is something that's very personal to me as someone that read this book, enjoyed the book, and I have him in a figure form. So I would love to have, the 3 main Jedi that were very prominent in the books. And it'd be really cool. I know they just did the lightsaber in a collaboration with Disney for Stellan, so it'd be really cool to now make figures in the Hasbro line that also kind of is an extension of, again, the novels and stuff. Because I think if you have characters that are on store shelves that are not fully known, right, and you say it and it's a cool Jedi or a cool villain or something like that, you might be like, what is this from? Oh, the High Republic. What is that? Oh, it's a book. Oh, it's a comic. Okay, maybe I want to learn more about that. You go on YouTube, you watch a video on it, and then from that, it kind of opens up a whole new can of worms that you might be interested in. So I think that would be a really cool way to get more people introduced to the High Republic and understand that era of Star Wars that is really interesting. Because I love it. I think the High Republic's really cool, and it's really fun to listen to, watch. My son loves the little kids show, and that's a really cool way that him and I can connect on Star Wars as well. So would love to see those characters added. So before I go to my number one, which is I think going to be a little bit of a surprise, I'm gonna go over a few that I have listed as what I think could be, I guess, like honorable mentions. Let's see, because most of these have either been created or now. I want a correct Book of Boba Fett. So like with the brown boots, the Tuscan skirt, the reforged armor, like that clean look. The one that we got, that's not the Book of Boba Fett one. That's essentially the Mandalorian one. That's how he looks in, like, what is it? I want to say, like the end of season 2. So I want like a screen accurate Book of Boba Fett. I don't know why we don't have that yet. It's very strange. I bought the SH Figure Arts one because I was like, I need a Boba Fett that actually looks like the way he is. So, yeah, that's one I have. Next, I do have. I want a Ben Solo / I want a new Kylo Ren. Because I know we need a Ben Solo, but I also say that we really need like an updated Kylo Ren unmasked, with the face technology. The best one we have was a Walmart exclusive, I think, that came with like the floor plate, and it came with like a actual metal helmet. Great figure, but we need now a really good Adam Driver head, I think, and I think that would just be really cool to have that. Do a 2-pack. Do that Luke crate on crate, and do that updated Kylo Ren. I think that would be really cool. But those are some of the honorable mentions that I do have. And my number one figure that I would love to see added to the line from Jedi Survivor is Dagan Gera. He was essentially the antagonist in the game. He was from the High Republic, so he kind of fits two of the gaps that I love. And he's just a badass. He's a one-armed Jedi, and then he like becomes a dark side user due to what happens in the game. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I really liked him as a character. I thought he was just like a really cool dark character. And we have the second sister. Again, she should be unmasked. I don't think we're ever going to get the ninth sister because she's just so big. I mean, maybe you could. Well, you would actually have to do it maybe on like a Wampa body or something like that. Yeah, I would say the Wampa body is probably the only one that would actually work for her body type as a character. And you have the updated Jedi Survivor Cal, so it would be really cool to have. The Dagan Gera figure, and I would love to see Bode as well. Right? Why not just include him while you're at it? Because what I love the most when I'm filling out my shelves is just the world building piece and having those extra characters that make sense. Like I'm all cool with in the vintage collection having some of those obscure characters that fill in maybe like a scene or like a cantina. But in the Black Series, since there aren't, set pieces and backdrops and things like that, and a lot of the time it's just, the shelf space that you're looking at, I love having the characters that look well together and kind of fill those gaps. And having the hero and the villain, I think, is always very important. And right now, we're lacking the villains in the Jedi Fallen Order Survivor realm. We have Purge Troopers, which is great. We have enough different Empire rankings, some Knight Brothers. Yeah, I mean, you name it. We have the battle droids, which is great. But I mean, there's so many other. Like, we don't even have any of the what are they? whatever that faction is. I'm blanking on their name. They're the Marauders or something that work with Dagon. But those would be cool too. Like, we don't have any of those, and they're very unique looking, which would make it even cooler. So, I would say those are a few of the figures that I would love to see come to the line. I think it would just make, they're a little bit more obscure. They're not really like the common figures that I think most of these lists would have. I think, Captain Enoch and the Night Soldiers are probably the most asked for. Maybe even like Imperial Super Commandos. Keller and Beck, I think, is as well, and then maybe the TK Stormtroopers. But I think some of the other ones that I have are just kind of more of my own personal likes, and things that I would like to see added, just because I think it's cool. I like those type of figures. I like those type of characters. I love the High Republic, and I like to see some more of that added to the Black Series line. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Subscribe to the channel. I'm definitely trying to make some more content here on YouTube. I also have a podcast. If you're interested in mental health and talking about mental health, it is a mental health podcast that sometimes includes some Star Wars mannerisms, as well as some fun lightheartedness as well. But that is also a side project that I work on. We're about 4 episodes in, working on getting a 5th episode out as soon as possible. But that's another side project that I have. Follow me on Instagram at star_toys with 2 Z's, where you can see more updated. That's kind of where I most of the time post. It's just easier to post a picture. Recently trying to get into toy photography. But might be a great way for us to connect if you're interested in that. I do answer messages on my Instagram, and I love talking with the community as well. But also feel free to leave a comment on this video. I'm always interacting with folks in the comments. I'd love to hear what are the figures that you'd like to see added to either Black Series or Vintage Collection. We're going to be getting a lot of cool stuff, I'm sure, in the next year. 2024 is already jam-packed in the beginning, so I can only imagine what the rest of the year is going to be. I mean, this year was so fantastic with action figures. I'm really excited to see what this year holds with the way that things are going. I have a feeling it's going to be really cool. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for dealing with my list. But again, write in the comments what you would like to see. I'd love hearing it. And as always, may the Force be with you, and have a great rest of your day.